because we just got a lease.
Linda Edwards.
here. Certainly with transitioning into my first meeting, I appreciate everybody's time today. So I just want to go over the introductions, if we could first, kind of go around the table and introduce everyone who's who, and we can start. Sound good?
All right, I'm Lisa O'Rourke. I'm an ESE teacher at Orchard Creek Elementary School, starting my 19th year. Hi, I'm Kay Sudler. I'm a speech and language pathologist at several schools up on the north end of the county. Starting my 11th.
Wow. I'm Kate Dowdy. I am SJEA president, and this is year 26, but not as president, but you get the drift.
I'm Jess Bashada. I teach at Pedro Menendez High School, and this is my 8th or 9th year, something around there.
I'm Tracy Butler. I'm with Florida Education Association Regional Specialist.
Jennifer Jurek, I'm interventionist at Crookshank Elementary, and I'm in my 22nd year.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Shara Rakowski, for president, just assisting. This is my 6th year, going into my 6th year to food service.
She's tech today.
I'm tech today, yeah.
Did you turn the microphone on?
Yes, I did.
Perfect. We are going good.
Tech and trusted, right?
Right.
I'm Wayne King. I'm the Human Resource Director, and I've stopped counting years.
Yeah. Paul Abatinozzi, I'm the chief of staff, and I'm in year 36.
Hi, Kathy Weber. I am the Chief Financial Officer, and I'm in my 28th year.
Jay Wynn, Director for Benefits and Salaries, in my 6th year.
Parker Raymond, Director for Instructional Personnel, and I am starting my 13th year.
Jay Willits, Regional Superintendent for Secondary Schools, year 33.
Ryan Player, Director for Non-Instruct, year 26.
Kyle Dressback, Operations, year 1. Year 30. So,
Amy Snodgrass, Director for Budget, I'm in my 9th year.
Nikki Applefoot, Principal at Hartley, year 26.
Don Sack, Deputy Superintendent for Academics, year 34.
It's a great place to work.
It is a lot of longevity. So I'm just going to review the agenda quick, if we could, and then we'll kind of move forward from there. So we're going to start with Jay Wynn with an insurance presentation. Certainly have time for questions today after that. Following that, we'll move forward with a budget presentation from Kathy Weber, our CFO. Post that, we'll move forward with our MOUs as listed. You see on the agenda. I will make a note. The dual enrollment supplement, we move that down to an SJEA item.
Yep.
And then following that, we'll move into, I'm sure we'll caucus at that point. We'll follow back up with SJEA MOUs. And then you see at the end, there's a discussion point with a few items listed there as well. And we'll kind of close that way. So, any questions on the agenda or anything before I hand it off to Ms. Wynn to kind of move forward?
No, we're fine.
Okay.
Ready to rock.
All right.
While she's getting that prepared, I just wanted to say I am the Director for Salaries and Benefits, but I also serve as Chair for the Insurance Committee. That's why I'm presenting in that role at this point. So what I want to present are the Insurance Committee recommendations for the upcoming year. I'll start by renewal of an update of where they.
Why don't you stand up? That way you're not talking to screens because we can't hear you.
Okay. Not need this.
Well, and I hate to say this, but for our viewers at home, if you could speak up. Thanks.
It'll probably help better on facing the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. This is your wonderful insurance committee, so obviously you have representation from all parts of the district, SJEA, SJEA, and AMC. And this is an awesome committee this year. Not that it's not always awesome, but we did some really hard work, made some tough decisions this year that we want to present to you. So I wanted to start here, because I wanted to build up to where we are currently. This starts, in case you can't see that, all the way back from 17-18 school year. So you'll see this is the renewal increases over the years. So you'll see that here we've had some very small increases, not even 1% for 3 years in a row. Then 2 years, we went to 0. Then the next year, now we're at 22, 23, and we did 0.5%. And the year after that, we did 0. So I said all that to say we were in a better position at the time. And here, when you see that big whoop, a lot of things went into that, but mainly the cost of care and the fact that we weren't increasing as rapidly as the cost of care. Fortunately, we had a healthy fund balance that we could tap into, which we did last year. So here, last year, the renewal came back at 21%. So the insurance committee made the decision to recommend a 7% increase, because 21 is a lot on everybody, and to utilize the healthy fund balance that we have. Fast forward to today, the increase, the cost of things did not decrease, it increased. So actually, the actuaries came back to us this year and said, if you want to continue to offer the plans you do now, you need to raise your premiums by 31%. And that's not feasible. So, and nobody responded to that recommendation. So that's when we decided we had to put in some hard work and make some changes. So that's what I'm getting ready to present. First off, we landed at a 5.7% increase for premiums for the insurance. And we are going to depend on the fund to make up the difference. Next. So what you see here is our current plans and then the proposed new plans. So when I say we went to work, everything you see in red is new. So we went back and forth. What can we do with the insurance plan offerings, still competitive, but yet affordable. So you'll see that we've made a lot of changes, and unfortunately, you're gonna just be patient with me. This is gonna take a while for me to go through this, but I think it's important that you see the changes. So I want to start, I'm gonna see if this, can you guys see my because I can't see it. No. Okay, no problem. Again, this is proposed, this is not approved. So I want to start here in the dark blue, under the dark blue header, these are our current plans. Hospital 1, which is your base plan, and then Hospital 2, which is your buy-up plan. And I'm going to go back and forth, because over here, the light blue is the proposed changes to the plan. So your plan is going to look very different if this is adopted. So what I'm going to do is start with Hospital 1 and compare current Hospital 1 to the proposed new Hospital 1. So what's different? Your deductible currently is $1,000 for a member, $3,000 for a family. Over here to the red, that's going to increase to $2,000 individual, $6,000 family. Yes, the deductible applies to your out-of-pocket max. Co-insurance. Currently, it's 80-20. When I say 80-20, I mean 80% is paid by the plan and 20% is paid by the member once you've met your deductible. That's now going to go to 75% and 25% once your deductible is met. Physician services, that's your regular doctor's visits outside of Marathon. Shameless plug, everything at Marathon is free, so a lot of these services you might find where you were utilizing another provider, you might not think about going to Marathon. Where was it? Physician services, currently you pay a $30 copay each time you see a primary care physician, and you would pay $60 each time you saw a specialist. That is increasing Primary is going to 35, specialist is going to 85. So that's each time you visit though. And when you see a copay and it's not followed by a CYD, that means that's a flat payment, so you're not having to meet your deductible. Inpatient hospital services, currently it's calendar year deductible at 20%. That's going to change significantly. So each time you have hospital service, there is a $300 per admit deductible. Then you pay towards your deductible plus 25%. So your 25% co-insurance once you meet your deductible. So that's very different. Provider services in hospital, in ER, what currently is calendar year deductible plus 20%, is going to calendar year deductible plus 25%. Independent diagnostic labs / X-rays / AIS, and AIS stands for Advanced Imaging Services. Currently, all of that is flat $30. That will also increase. So it's going to be 50 for lab and X-rays. Now your advanced imaging is going to be subject to your calendar year deductible and 25%. Outpatient surgery services, calendar year deductible at 20% currently. It will increase to 25% after you meet your deductible. Emergency room services, currently $100, calendar year deductible and 20% co-insurance. It is increasing to $200, calendar year deductible and 25% co-insurance. Urgent care. So these are standalone urgent care. Currently it's a $30 copay. That will increase to $60 copay. RX deductible. On plan one, you've always had a deductible of $200 for pharmacy. It is going to increase to $300. So here are your drugs. You got generic, brand, and non-formulary. Your drugs are currently now you're paying $20 for a generic. That looks like it's remaining at 20. Your brand is going from 35 to 70. And non-formulary is going from 55 to 110. And non-formulary just means that you pick a brand name when there's a generic available. So you pay more for that. Your 90-day prescription orders, 2 times your copay is going to 3 times your copay. No changes to mental health. Your out-of-pocket max, $5,000 individual, and out-of-pocket max is once you reach this number, the plan pays 100% of your covered expenses after that. So we're currently for individuals $15,000 and for family it's $13,200. That is going to increase to $6,350 individual and $1,950 for family. Our out-of-network, we'll see some changes there. Just for disclosure, it's actually quite difficult to get out-of-network in our area, so we have less than 1% people utilizing out-of-network. It can happen, so you've still got some coverages there, but they are increasing. So currently, your deductible, which is different from your in-network deductible, is $2,000 per individual and $6,000 for family. That is going to $5,000 individual and $15,000 family. Co-insurance, where it was 60-40 this year, will go to 50-50. Inpatient hospital services at an out-of-network hospital is going from calendar year deductible 40 to calendar year deductible 50. Same as outpatient, calendar year deductible 50. And your out-of-pocket max now increases from $6,500 to $13,000 per individual, and from 20 to 26 per family. I know it's a lot. You take a breath. I need to take a breath. So now I'm going to go to your bio plan. This plan is designed to be richer. And it is. So same thing, deductible. Whereas now we're on this with these 2 rows. Where it was $300 for individual deductible and $600 for family. That is increasing to $1,000 for individual and $3,000 for family. You don't see any more changes until we get here for the physician services. So your regular physician was $30 and your specialist was $50. That will increase to $35 for primary care and $62 special. We get down to independent diagnostic lab, X-ray, and AIS. Where it was $30 flat payment, now it is $50. And then each advanced imaging is $200. So that gives you the benefit of knowing ahead of time, each time you get an advanced image, it is gonna cost you $200. Emergency room services, you're currently, you're $100. Having a deductible of 20%, that is increasing to $200, having a deductible of 20%. Urgent care is going from $30 to $50 per visit. Your deductible, which you typically, you never had one in the buy-up plan, now there is one, so there's going to be $300 deductible for your pharmacy. And I just want to pause right there because I don't want you to think every time you go, it's going to be $300. If your medication is $25, it is $25. You're not going to pay more than what the medicine costs, but you are going to have to meet up to that deductible before you get to the flat rate, if that makes sense. The regular stuff at generic, it was $15 for generic, still $15. Brand name goes from $30 to $60, and non-preferred goes from $50 to $100. And your 90-day mail orders 3 times copay, just like it was in plan 1. Your out-of-pocket max, and it's going to stay the same at $5,000, but the family is going to increase from the $13,200 to $15,000. Network, your deductible is now, instead of $600, $2,500 for individual, instead of $1,200 for family, it will be $7,500. Your co-insurance also increases to, now the plan pays $60 and the member pays $40. The inpatient services are going to be subject to where it was deductible of $25, it's now deductible 40%. And then outpatient surgery, where it was deductible of 25%, is going to deductible of 40%. Your out-of-pocket maximum is going to increase from $6,500 to $10,000 per individual, and from 20 and still 20 per family. So that's all.
And so Jay, I think one of the items that's important to point out, and I was trying to find the exact date, but, and I will, I believe it's been since 2015 that there have been any plan design changes at all to the plan. It has been that first in the dark blue, it has been like that for the past 10 years. So that was a point at the insurance committee that was important.
Would you like questions now or at the end?
Do you have questions?
Yeah, I just have, and you may not have the answer to this. I'm just curious. In the prescription deductible, we're $200 in the hospital one plan goes to $300 in the new plan, but the hospital two plan, it starts at 0 and then goes to $300. And it's a lot of these increases are kind of the same going across percentage wise. Why is that one such a much larger increase? If you got to go look for it, that's fine too.
No, I mean, all of these were vetted. It's 0 is it's low.
Right, it's low. I get
For a
that.
long time. The cost of medication, and remember what I said, it's not that you're going to pay $300 if the medicine is not $300. You just now have a copay. You're going to have to contribute more to the things you use.
Gotcha.
So if I can interject a little bit. So one of the big pieces is, if you noticed, what Jay talked about was the average increase that your insurance committee is recommending is 5.7%, starting at 31%. So what your committee did was, we, through the Bailey Group, played with these plan design changes. These plan design changes are preventing that 5.7% from being larger. So if you take any of that away, You
Okay.
got to capture the money from somewhere else, which is through your premiums. So it's you pay now through your premiums, or you pay later when your prescription is needed or your incident occurs. And then the other piece that Jay started with is good and bad. Your prescription costs, bad, are skyrocketing.
Mhm.
The good is, doctors and companies are finding better ways to treat more and more issues and diseases. That's a good thing.
Right.
The problem is all of them come at an expense, and a lot of these new ones don't have a generic coming out anytime soon. So that also makes it very, very difficult because your plan will only pick up anything that's FDA approved. So if a generic is not FDA approved, your plan isn't going to pay for it. So I hope that helped.
We're on the same
a little bit in
page.
some of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you have a question?
Not a question so much as someone who's on the committee. I did just want to say that if you look up at the top, it says modified option 6 rates. We went through so many different possible plans, and this was the one we hit upon to be the least painful and the most palatable for the pocketbook.
Okay. Hi, I'm good.
So now, what do those changes amount to as far as your patient? So I did say that the increase that is being proposed is 5.7 overall. However, there is,
I'm sorry, Jay, will we be getting a copy of this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
both
I have it in the
both of these
thing.
presentations,
Already
they're
in
in
the
Teams, so you'll get to be able to see both.
sorry, no problem. What does it look like in the paycheck? So the increases in hospital 1 and hospital 2 are actually different. So 5.7 is an average. The increase to plan 1, which is your base plan, is 4.5%. The increase to plan 2 is 6.75. And that is because plan 2 cost us so much more money, because that plan was really rich. Also, I think it's important as a reminder, the amount we increase the plans by, that's shared between the employee and the board for the plan. So I say board and plan interchangeably, but board is going to take of this 4.5%, the board is going to contribute 85% of that for employee only. They're going to contribute 75% of that 4.5 to the family home plan 1. The employee is only going to pay 15% of that 4.5 for individual and 25% of the family on family. So just wanted to point that out. Sometimes we vote that. So now I want to compare the current pay rates, and these are current rates for every time the 19 deductions we take out the year. It sits under the blue section here is what we're currently paying. Here in the dark gray is what the proposed rates will look like, and then at the very end is the difference in pay period. And so for today's purpose, I've got employee, with EE stands for employee, ER represents employer. I really want to focus on the employee today. That's okay. I'm happy to go with employer if anyone would like that, but what it looks like on your employee's paycheck is what I really want to focus on today. So if we're here in the blue section, currently plan 1 is on top. Your current deduction, if you're on plan 1 and you're individual or single, is $68.16. With this increase, that rate will go to $70.93 in the yellow. I highlighted the changes in that. So that's a difference of $2.77 per paycheck for someone that is on plan 1 and only covering themselves. If an individual is on plan 2, I'm sorry, if an individual is covering their family on plan 1, the current premium or deduction that's coming out is $287.20. Proposed rate will go to $298.20. So that's gonna be different, so it'll be $11 for family on plan 1. So we jump down to plan 2, hospital 2, which is your bio plan. The current rate is, or deduction is $83.45. That is going to increase to $96.51. Then the difference is going to be $13.06 per paycheck for individual on plan 2. If you're covering a family on plan 2, the deduction goes from $360.19 to $398.12 for a difference of $37.93. So that's what it looks like. So at open enrollment, people will be able to switch from this plan to this plan or however they want to move out. Another thing at open enrollment, education is going to be very important because now people are going to have to make a more conscious decision about which plan they are going to be in because of the cost difference in the past for employee only. There wasn't that much of a difference. So sometimes people would just say, I'll just get the better plan because it doesn't cost that much more. Now you really have to look at how am I utilizing the plan? What am I going to use it? Am I seeing specialists on a regular basis? Because those co-pays add up. Do I want to take the risk and be in plan 1 and pay towards myself for every time? Do I want the comfort of knowing when I get advanced imaging, it's going to be $200 each? So it is going to take a little bit more thought to for employees now to decide. It always should have, but it's even more important now for employees to think about how they utilize the plan.
19.
Okay, you can go to the next slide. So for our dental, there were no changes to dental 1, so you don't see anything there. It's the same. However, for dental 2, it's upgraded so slightly. The increase to the maximum benefit, it was $1,000 for the maximum benefit for dental 2 before. That is going to increase to $2,500. That's a good thing. It's not going to cost the employee only anything. So you're going to get that benefit if you're on that plan. If you're on the family plan, it's going to cost a nominal fee of $7.29. So it's going to be $7 extra for $1,500 more benefit. Anybody have questions? So this is just wrap up. Cost of everything is going up. Specifically, our average per person is 8% more than it was last year. The actuaries handed us a 31% renewal. The insurance committee, she said that wasn't helpful at all. So we are recommending plan design changes, which I showed you, and a hospital increase, premium increase for hospital 1 of 4.5, and premium increase in hospital 2 of 6.75. That is going to cost, that's going to cost the board additional $2 million. And then we're going to depend on the fund for an additional $7 million. That's going to cost us.
And Jay, no change to vision, right?
No changes to vision.
I do have a question. Could you go back to the slide that explains what everybody be paying? Is that right? Yeah.
For the medical?
For the medical. So if I'm looking, let's say I'm a family plan person and I'm on hospital 2, 93 per pay period. So 19 pay periods means they're paying $700-ish more a year. Okay, we'll make sure my math is right.
But just remember, for 25, 26, it won't be 19 paychecks. The deductions will start in December.
Okay.
The plan design changes will start in January. So the good thing is it gives people a little bit of time to prepare, and then they have the half of the year to kind of feel the increase and then moving in, obviously, to the next year. But we can't get everything started until the January, if this is approved.
Okay. I'm good, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Step right in, Kathy.
Okay. All right. Unfortunately, it doesn't get any better. All right. This you will have as well. It should be in the Teams folder so that you can
It is.
see it. I encourage you to share it. I really do encourage you to share it. And I cut this down a lot because I feel like everybody on this team has kind of seen this presentation over and over and over again. So I really tried to hit the highlights. So we're really going to focus on the FEFP, and so that's the formula that the state uses to get our money, and divided among all 67 school districts. So this tells the tale. This is actually my favorite slide of the sad story. So what happens is every February, let me just give you a little bit of information. Every February, there's a group of us that sit down at the district office level. ESE, finance, Nicole covered, which is planning and operations, and she's really great at determining zoning and number of students. And so we are required in February to get to the state of projection of what we believe our student number will be for the following school year. But it's not belly buttons, it's FTE, which is different. We're paid based upon FTE, and that's the number of classes that a student takes. So at the high school level, when a student gets to about their junior or senior year, they may not be one full FTE because they've taken all their credits or they're in their last year of high school. They only need 5 classes, and so they leave early. And so we don't get a full FTE for them. We only get paid based upon the number of classes that someone takes. So when we say 57,390, that's FTE, but there are more students, more belly buttons in that number. So we submit a number to the Department of Education, and they either have to accept it or reject it. So I'm going to pick my words very carefully. But we've had a difficult time explaining the growth in St. Johns County. Now, those of you that live here, you know Nocatee, and you know Silverleaf, and you know Rivertown, and you know what it's like driving around St. Johns County. But the Department of Education has a specific number that they expect us to stick with. So this is the projection. When we do the October survey, which is very important to count in October, for the third calculation that comes out, that's the third analysis, that's when we truly can tell them how many students we have in our seats and truly have backup to our number. So that was a long way around saying what I'm going to tell you. So the state allowed us to project an increase of 1,945 FTE. Out of that 1,900, this is FES. This is the Family Empowerment Scholarship number that they're saying we are growing. That comes out of that 1,945 because we are somewhat of a pass-through. Although we don't receive the actual funds, the money is in our calculation because they are St. Johns County students, not school district students, but county students. Then we have to remember our charters, right? And so out of this number, you have to take the FTE out for our charters. And so in the past, we knew about St. Augustine Public Montessori, we know about ARC, which is great, they help special needs students. But now we have Treaty Oaks Academy, and they're a brand new charter that have come to St. Johns County to the tune of 501 FTE. So with all of that, 556 FTE has to come out of that 1,900 number. That left us with an FTE growth of 357.6. I want to say that again, 357.6 FTE in a growing St. Johns County school district. So our first and second calculation, that's how the state determines how we get our paycheck every 2 weeks. is only based upon a growth of 357 students. Yes,
Will that be revised when actual numbers come in later?
yes, but here's the problem. The problem is that comes with the third calculation, which comes out in the spring.
Okay.
So we are held tight with the second calculation that got to us per statute by July 19th, so we could build our budget. And we're required to stay within that budget, okay? This third calculation for 24-25 had a reduction of $2.3 million because their belief is that the Family Empowerment Scholarship grew so much. And because of that, remember, their bucket is one bucket. So if school districts increase or decrease, it's still the same bucket. You have to take away from here and add to here and move it around here. And so we were hit with a $2.3 million decrease because they claimed statewide that FES grew so much. Now, there's a belief that they will be better this year, but there's a belief that there were some students being reported in FES and some students being reported at school districts across the state, and it wasn't really reconciling well. So there were some students that were listed twice. The state has, we believe, put stopgaps in place to try and catch that. But it does make it very difficult. Your answer is yes.
Yep.
If this number is bigger, we hope to get more, but the problem is statewide, if everybody's number is bigger or it doesn't even out, you're not going to get truly the exact value of that increase because their bucket stays the same. They don't put more in. They have the amount of dollars for schools.
Gotcha.
And that's the way it's going to stay.
Second question.
Yes.
And I don't want to get you in trouble with the state. You said you argued with them a little. In your best estimation, what do you think the true number is?
So we believe that we probably could double that. Just knowing that there are more families that are coming into St. Joseph. It is slowing a little bit. It's slowing. It's not slowing a lot. And so we don't think that's enough.
Okay. Thank you.
So that puts us in a pickle because at the end of the day, our base student allocation, and I know Tracy can confirm this because I believe SJEA is watching this just as closely as we are. They're giving us $41.62 per student. So you take $41.62 and you multiply it by 357. A family can't even, so it's very, very difficult. So let's keep telling the tale. 1945.80, and then we got a $41.62 increase in the base student allocation. Now, the base student allocation is the money that we can somewhat do whatever we want with, right? But we know that there are mandates that we pay for certain things. When you get into your total funds per student, which the increase is $186.74, that includes the categorical money in there. What a categorical is it's the money that they've earmarked for transportation, the money we have to spend on safety, mental health. And so this is the increase they're giving us for the 25-26 school year per additional per student. Okay. So we take our base funding and then we take a look at what are they giving us above what they gave us last year. And so if you'll indulge me a minute, I think it's important to see where the focus was of the legislature this year. So they gave us $1.8 million more for ESE services, and we are grateful. We're grateful. But if you teach ESE, you know how expensive some of the equipment is, some of the supplies are. In many instances, we have to have more than one staff member in a classroom. And so it's not always keeping up with what the needs of our ESE population is. This one was interesting to me. Mental health, only $76,000 more for the 25-26 school year. And this one was even more interesting to me. $84,000 more in safety. So we have youth resource officers in our schools, which we support. We expect that. We believe in that for our students. But $84,000 when you open up a new school for 25-26 doesn't cover that new youth resource officer. And then remember, we're going to open up 2 more K-8s next year. Your educational enrichment allocation. A couple of years ago, what the state did was they collapsed or compressed several categoricals that used to be on the list. So in this educational enrichment allocation are your textbooks, it's your reading allocation, and your lead teacher supply money used to be in there. And so now all of that's all collapsed into one. We still make sure we support all of those items that were in that category. There was a proration, so throughout the course of the year, remember I was telling you in the third quarter we had 2.3, but throughout the whole year we had $4 million proration. So they didn't have that in here, we can add it back in. Transportation, again, for growing school districts, $293,000 more. And what I'm going to tell you is that the state covers about 50%. We used to be about 60-40. It's getting to be more 50-50. This is new. This is good, but this is new. We're learning every day. So academic acceleration options, your AP, IB, ACE funds are now in a categorical. So before, we used to have an unweighted FTE and a weighted FTE. And we still have a weighted FTE. But those students that were taking the AP, IB, ACE career academies, they were in the weighted group because there was an additional weight added on for those classes. Now, instead of adding them to the weight, they have given us an allocation. So if you remember, school districts and parents were very concerned because they were going to cut that. And so the good thing is they did add it, but they've added it as a categorical. So they're going to audit it. They're going to make sure that we all spend the dollars the way we're supposed to, which is great. It's for bonuses for teachers. It is for materials. It's for covering exams. It's for the actual programs. But that was an increase of $250,000. Class size, 1 million. This state-funded discretionary supplement, we don't get that. That's also part of that scholarship funding. But it's added in, and then it's going to come right back out. And then this is local dollars. So a little bit of a decrease in local, but then a 3.9 increase. Total funds. This is our categoricals and the $41.62 base student allocation. So we have $28.1 million that we can spend. But wait a minute. Remember, FES is still in here, and so are your charters. So Parker will move to the next slide. So what I have to do is I have to take that 28 million and I've got to back out. Now I got to back out the categoricals. I have to back out what we are going to pay to our charters. And I have to back out what we know is going to happen with FES. So I took our growth of 357.6 and I multiplied it by the base student allocation, which was your $5,300. And that's 1.9 million. That's going to cover additional teachers, right? Because when we have 357 additional FTE, we're going to have to hire teachers. You're going to have to purchase textbooks. You're going to have to purchase supplies. And you're going to want to make sure you outfit the classes for them. Then I have our charters. And so our charters are going to increase by 556 FTE. So right out at the top, they're going to get $2.9 million. And that is a pass-through. The money does come to us. We count their FTE, and they get a paycheck from us every 2 weeks, just like we get one from the state. So we have to make sure we account for that. And here's the dollar amount for family empowerment scholarships. $9.9 million. This total is 55. This is just the growth for this year. The total coming out of St. Johns County is $55 million. So I take the 1,032, that's the growth, and the dollar amount varies that goes to a family. It can be $7,558, all the way up to $34,000, depending upon if that student is a 254 or a 255, and that student is being homeschooled, and that parent is receiving those dollars, or if that student is at a private school and they're servicing those needs. Then I took out all of the categoricals. I'm not going to reread them. But the reason why is because when the state comes in to audit us, they're going to make sure that money that was given to us, that $1.8 million that was given to us for ESE, that we spend it on ESE. I can't take that categorical and spend it on transportation or spend it on something else. They're going to make sure that because the state paid for that, that I'm going to put that money where it belongs. This we're going to talk a little bit more about. This breaks my heart. The teacher salary increase allocation. The new money is 0.54% this year. I don't know how many of you have heard that. $1.7 million. They gave us money to maintain, but the additional value is $1.7 million. Then we have our instructional materials, and then if you remember, we still have to give the $300 per teacher for their supplies. And so that's just based upon the growth of the number of teachers. So now I have $7.6 million left at the end of the day. And now Parker's gonna do the slide. So this is important. For 24-25, the additional amount that was given to the St. Johns County, remember, St. Johns County, you got to share with your charters, so charters do get a piece of that. But the increase was 1.07% over the prior year in 23-24. Now, we're in 25-26, and it's 0.54% at $1.7 million. And so if anybody wants to check behind me, you can on the state website. It's the different calculations. And so this is where I get my numbers from. They come right off of the second calculation. And then there's new language. This is interesting. The new language for the teacher salary increase allocation, and they're actually calling it something new now, not teacher salary increase allocation. For increased personnel compensation costs, or to provide salary increases to full-time classroom teachers in Florida in their second year, who have completed 2 years. So we're looking at this, right? And poor Wayne is going to have to try, and his team are going to have to try to figure out, we've got 2 years in Florida, because somebody could be, in their third year, but 2 of their years could have been in Georgia. So we're trying to take a look at that.
So, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Are you saying this money can only be used to increase the compensation for a teacher who has been in Florida 2 years or more?
Yes, in Florida, full time. Yes, and I can send you the language too if you'd like to see it. It's in the,
I mean, I believe you, but also send it to me.
yeah, it's good for all of us to see it and all of us to read it. But yeah, that's in the general appropriations language. I do not know what the premise for that was. Okay, next slide. All right, so we got 7.6 million, and then we know that we have partnered with Kelly Ed. And so Kelly Ed now is responsible for all of our substitute teachers. Our hope is that your fill rate will now be 95%. That's the hope. We are hopeful that they will be able to get people to come and work and cover those days when we need someone in the classroom so that we don't have to split classes, we don't have to put the onus of people being out on other teachers. And if our teachers do need to be out, they can be out and know that their class is covered and taken care of. But that's going to come with a cost. And so that's a projection. Again, good thing, bad thing. Good thing, you want 75, you want 95% fill rate, comes with a cost. Student transportation. So even above and beyond what the state has given us, our 3-year trend is we spend about $806,000 more every year than we do in a prior year. More routes, obviously. Construction causes different tariffs are causing additional expenses and costs for things like tires and parts. And then we have gas fluctuates. Right now it's not bad, but gas does fluctuate. The Florida retirement, so we just talked about this $2 million. That's if we negotiate and we approve the plan design changes and the premium increase. This is your board cost. The $2 million is what the board is going to have to pay. Then we've got utilities, that's going up. Florida retirement, that went up. So what the board pays is an increase. Now we're at 14.03%. And so that's going to come with a $1.3 million price tag. It's about a 4% increase to us of what we pay. Contract labor. And so that's a big price tag. That's when we can't get OTs, PTs, SLPs, school psychologists, any other type of service that we have to provide for our ESE students. We actually end up having to contract that out so that we meet requirements. We have a new school opening this year. That costs $1.9 million. Kathy, really? $1.9 million? Well, the teachers go and some of the staff move. You have to have a new principal, assistant principal, maintenance manager, a whole custodial crew. And so there is a new secretary, computer operator. When you add up all of that staff and that benefit,
No, it's not.
that cost is an average of about $1.9 million to open up a brand new school. Last thing we ever want to do is get rid of a person, right? It's one thing to get rid of a position when somebody is not sitting in it and divide work. But what we don't do in this school district is the very last thing we do is we get rid of people. And so we did have some grants, and this is outside of the federal piece that we know was gone and now it was frozen and now it's back. But this is just some grants that we didn't get the dollar amount that we got last year. And so we're not going to let people go. We're going to find a way, and we're going to take that expense. We all know about the clearinghouse. That's an unfunded Band-Aid. Everybody in here is having to be re-fingerprinted with the clearinghouse. Well, they require that we re-fingerprint all of our employees that aren't in the clearinghouse. And if you're like most of us in this room that have been here for a while, we were not, the clearinghouse wasn't even a thing. Well, we have to pay for that. So that's an unfunded mandate. And that cost us $300,000 for the equipment and for the people. And then we're opening up QQ and RR. So we do put some staff in place in the spring so that they can start hiring, that they can start filling the schools, talking to teachers, hiring custodians, hiring all of those other pieces. So now we're in the negative by 3.6. So what are we going to do about it? Okay, so here's what we've done. So if you remember, we have 15% of the referenda. We negotiated out 85%, but we have 15% of the referenda. And one of the pieces, thank goodness to our community that voted for that. It has just been a blessing. We're going to preserve services through referenda. So we pay, this is just one example, we pay approximately $2.7 million above the $4 million we get from the state for youth resource officers. $6 million plus, $6.7 million for youth resource officer service and safety. So we're going to preserve some of these services through the referenda dollars. And then we are working as hard as we can to not hit the schools, okay? Because our kids are our focus and they are why we are in business. So here's what we've done. And at a time when we have, I feel like we have really just kind of kept cutting what we can cut. So Amy did a lot of work, and she took a 4-year average of operating budgets at district office personnel. And so we could have rolled everybody to that 4-year average. And so the 4-year average was less because things cost less or things weren't used. And so we're now at a 4-year average. The other thing we're doing, the district office level, unless it is already paid or it is critical to the responsibilities of that department or a school, district office staff know how to county travel. So to give you an example, I will go to Florida School Finance Officers Conference in the fall of the spring as of right now. So everybody in this room, unfortunately for us, we'll get our training as best as we can in other areas, other ways. But if it requires a hotel or driving or some type of a registration fee, we're not going. And then the other thing we're doing is we are still filling or freezing vacancies at the district office. And so I'll lead by example. I have 2 budget facilitator positions that are vacant. One is a vacancy, one was an additional position that was on hold last year. I won't fill those. And I have an accountant that got a promotion, and we won't fill her accounting position. It's hard on the staff, as you guys know. You just have, because the work has to be done, and we'll all do more with less. But this is how we are showing our commitment to the school district, that we're going to take as much of the burden of this that we can. And then very last, Parker, this is what keeps me up at night. Opening new schools. Because we're opening new schools in order to prevent all the relocatables and to get seats for the students we already have. That doesn't include growth. I mean, that's what we talked about when we did the sales tax again in the referendum. We're still trying to catch up with the students that we already have in our district. I worry about our fund balance going deeper and deeper because every time we have to dive into the fund balance, when you're building new schools, your credit rating is based upon how much money you have. And so if our credit rating goes down, and then I have to go out for another prop to build another school, your interest rates go up. It's just like with any of us. It's just based upon your finances and what you have. And then it's the overall economic concerns. It's the impact of trade policies. It's recruitment and retention, property and health insurance. This one I'm really worried about. It's federal funding reductions. I know they reinstated everything this year, but we don't know what's going to happen next year. You know, they reinstated us, they told us very late, and I think, and we are grateful we got it back, but I think they gave it back because budgets were already built and people already knew what they were going to do with that money. And so we don't know that we'll get that next year. There is a projected cliff for 27-28 that I'm trying to monitor. That did come out of the Department of Education and out of the state of Florida. And this one is in red. It's the vouchers, the scholarships, the choice, because you really can't turn on the TV without hearing or read an article about education nationwide without hearing the word choice in something. And then just as you and I are feeling, it's the increased cost of just everything. And so it's important. I gave a longer version to the board. And I gave this version to you all, and I will let you know. I don't want to bore anybody, but if any of your schools want me to come out and present, I am happy to stand in front of anybody and answer questions and present. But that's it. That's where we start. Anything for me?
Questions for Kathy?
And give me a quarter of a second here. Do you have a dollar value or percentage value tied to those cuts that you're making at the district level yet? Or has that been calculated?
Yeah, we actually do have an idea of what those will be, and so I can give you what we believe it will be. So
Okay.
for instance, I know travel is close to 200,000.
Okay.
And the reason why I say close is because what we're not cutting out is, we're not cutting out the local piece, because we want to make sure that Dawn's team can get out to a school that needs a program specialist in arts or something like that nature. And so, yes, we can tell you what the 4-year average is saving us. I can tell you what the travel is saving us, and then we do have a sheet that's telling us all of the frozen, slowly filled positions and what those costs are. I'll make sure you get that. That's actually a good question.
Second question, we've talked a lot here about having to pay out for those charter schools and vouchers and such. Do we have a solid percentage of students that are leaving St. Johns County School District to go to these charter schools?
I can tell you on the Treaty Oaks number, I feel very confident that's accurate. We've been watching their numbers all summer.
So it's like 500.
They're at 500 to my last look at that. I think what we all at the table need to understand though, they're a K-8. They're only opening K-6 right now. So there could be some impact next year and the year after, certainly will be. But right now, our most recent look was they are at 500. There may be a sprinkle coming from outside of St. Johns County for those numbers, but the majority of those numbers are St. Johns County students. Have impacted other schools and home ed kids and all of that.
Gotcha.
And I think it's important for you to know they're opening up a second one. And we believe that one will be opening in 26, 27,
Yeah, I think-
27, 28.
I think they're still in the property where we're gonna land, but they've been approved for 2 sites. So Site A is the one off of Brinkhoff. There's another one down the road that's already been approved.
And then St. John's River State College is also looking into, we've not received an application, I don't know that that would come to us, but just
We
to
wouldn't.
be county, but they are looking into opening up a dual enrollment high school that would attach to St. John's River State College. And we don't know how that would affect our own high schools.
I might have missed it in the go by. Did we have a financial condition ratio in that presentation?
No, but I can get you one.
Oh, I'll take one a little bit.
Amy's taking a note for me.
Okay. Thank you.
Tracy, did you have?
That was my question.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. This is when I get to work.
Okay, Kathy, thank you, Jay, thank you.
welcome.
And no other questions for Kathy?
Now, clear
I'm
inside,
bored
so-
them to tears.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just going to apologize for not applauding.
You're so sweet. Yes.
Okay, so just staying on track with the agenda, I'm gonna have Parker put up what the agendas are.
Right.
On the agenda, the MOUs from the district, and then certainly we'll break, give you guys a chance to talk about those and so forth.
Okay.
So first one is, for these almost 60-year-old eyes, is our PLC Advisory Committee. What you'll just see briefly when you're looking that over, it's a continuation of that group structure. You'll also see the same components with the meeting times 4 times per year and the reporting component to the bargaining team twice a year. So you'll see that in there.
Did we make any changes?
Other than dates, nothing to that.
We didn't make any changes that one.
Okay.
Either.
Parker, next one, please. Okay, and this is the providing emergency class coverage for teachers. It's same focus as last year, and this simply has had the dates adjusted. Well, you will see a smart, I'm sorry, go back to that, Parker.
I was
The
gonna-
piece component with Smart Find.
Yeah. we're
You
just
will
making
see the
sure
verification in Smart Find for the adjustment on that. I'm sorry. Thank
I
you.
think 2 out of 3 of them had it last year, so we just want to make it consistent.
Okay, we want to make a change to this. We'll
Okay.
pass something on.
Next one, Parker. This is the school psychologist piece. Simple update with regards to reflect the current year as well.
Okay.
And last one, and you remember, as we said, we moved the other one down to an SJEA. And this is the bereavement one. Yeah, bereavement leave with regards to, it's simply looking at the 2 days per contract year, and the use definitions are the same, the provisions listed in it.
Thank you.
All right.
And then one more.
Oh, yeah, excuse me, I'm sorry. This is a sources of strength. This is actually coming out of, sources of strength is a student-led support system piece. This will be, the goal is to see this paid for out of the mental health allocation. It's coming to you as an MOU for the simple fact that if the mental health allocation ever went away, this wouldn't be able to be utilized with regards to that. And this is coming from our student support services team. Each school would have a championship. The value of this stipend mirrors Web and Link Crew.
And this is brand new, correct?
Yes.
All right.
That's it.
Okay. You want to talk us for a minute before we pass it back to you?
You guys want some time? We'll step out for a little bit.
Give us a few minutes, see if we can't come to a conclusion on something, and we'll direct you. We're probably just going to use right in here.
Perfect.
Give him 2 minutes. You guys. Okay.
We're good.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate that time. We're good with the PLC Advisory Committee. We didn't make any changes to that. I do want to state, though, that we talked about it. We don't remember getting advised by the PLC Committee last year. So we need to make sure either they're meeting or they're getting back to us. And I'd love to hear from them. I have 3 copies to be signed, and I've already signed those if you want to sign those up front. I think you keep 1 and I keep 2. That's how that works. Perfect. Thank you. And then one for you, one for you. All right. Secondly, school psychologist terms of employment. We didn't see you need to change anything on that. So I'm gonna pass those across.
Wow.
It's you and that's me. Fantastic. Now the others. Let's scroll up a little bit. Here we go. Bereavement leave and teacher flying class coverage. We are going to be opening leave as one of our articles, and so we will be trying to incorporate that into the article. So we will pass that back across when we pass the article for that. And sources of strength, we're just going to read through it a little more. We want to take it and look at the other supplements and just make sure everything's square there, and then bring it back on the next go round. Anything on anything I've returned? Take it. Okay.
Thank you.
That's going in ours. Now, our MOUs. I don't have them in the order they're on the screen, so they'll be coming across in the order they're in my bucket. Let's start with.
Did you have the one, I'm sorry, what about the teacher coverage?
That's going to be in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jen is giving you the, no.
Oh, is it working condition?
I know you said bereavement,
I'm
you're
sorry.
going to do in leave.
It's going to go in one of the articles we're opening. Bereavement and teacher class coverage going in the article. We're going to make an attempt to get it in there. I've got. All right, we're passing across St. John's Technical High School. And hold on, I will, give me just a second, I will try to get it online as well.
Oh.
I always click twice and it wants me to click once. All right. Rolling down, the only change to this is that we've just increased the amount of money from $2,500 to $3,000 because it continues to be a challenging place to work. And we believe those people deserve every incentive possible to want to work there. And with rising costs and rising times, you simply raise the number a little bit. Any questions on changes to that? Okay. All right. You want to do that? That's a good plan. Games next, please. Oh, no. I secured that. Okay. All right, that should be 4 copies of gains for you. Okay, there we go. All right, looking at gains. What we've asked for here, all we've changed is going from $3,750 up to $5,000 incentive to work at Gaines. I don't feel there'll ever be a time in my life where I don't ask for more money for the people that work at Gaines. I know I'm blessed enough to have an I&D area in my school, and I watch those people every day, and I think the people we can't handle here are the people at the Evelyn Hamlin Center, and those people deserve every single dollar they get. So I'd like to see them get a couple of more dollars to benefit them for the amount of work they do and the service they provide. But that is the only change, is a number. Any questions on that?
No.
Perfect. All right. This is a new one. Let's see what we do. One optional day.
Thank you.
All right, sorry, thank you. If you want some, feel free to unbox. I'll get you one. Sorry.
I'm not in there.
All right. Optional planning day. Okay, we got it up there. We hereby agree, it's memorandum of understanding. Okay, second paragraph, instructional staff shall be given the option to work an unpaid planning day on August 3rd, 2026. That's my understanding what the optional day would be next year. This time is reserved for the purpose of teacher-directed, student-free, individual instructional planning. This is time, and my copy is really bad, of course. Copy real quick. Did you have that? Sorry. My printer was bad at home. Reserved for use at their professional discretion for work-related activities. No meetings or training shall be scheduled for the optional day. Instructional staff who participate in the optional training day should be given a flex day, which they can use in lieu of leave during a non-student contact day. And I've got it dated out to the 4th, so it'll last till next year. Reasonings. Well, we went to the optional day today, and poor Kate was inundated with calls from people saying they would be given trainings that day, team leader training. I got team leader training, new teacher training, welcome to the building meetings, parent square trainings, all sorts of trainings at all different levels are being offered. And the problem is those people need to have those trainings, but it's optional to come in. If the training seems unoptional to a teacher, the day no longer becomes optional. That day needs to be made into a planning day where people have the time to put their room together and get that all done, so they aren't fretting as much over that when it comes time to be in these meetings. And that is the goal of that one. Any questions?
So this is including supplemented positions as well? Like if I'm a department chair, if I'm a team leader in a middle school and all those pieces?
Here's the thought,
Okay.
is if you have the option to put that training on optional day, why don't you put it on the July the 12th, right? Why would we make that meeting happen on the day when the people finally get some planning? If you're going to be, you can summon those people on the supplement at any time you like. You can 12 in the morning, but why put on the optional day? Put it where there's other trainings, where there's areas people can get, can do their job while they're working and not trying to get together.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm a bad girl. I didn't bring my contract. See, I take away lead from me and I don't have, can I ask you the
Absolutely.
last sentence about, can use in lieu of leave during a non-student contact day? Is it currently a teacher planning day that optional, that you switch?
You can flex.
So are you saying that they could take an in-service day and not?
My intention is not for that to mean in-service day. However, I couldn't figure out how to make the name work.
Okay.
So I would like to find something that, now if you're going to let me take an in-service day off, that'd be great. But ideally, it'll be one of the 4 planning days.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions on that? Okay. All right. Are we down all the way to this? All right. Two, 3, 4. All right. Print this bit and get a copy for myself. There we go. All right. New MOU, paid parental leave. The floodgates are open. We reached a point where counties are starting to offer paid parental leave. We lost our opportunity to be number 1, first in the pack, but we can still be out in front, still be one of the lead horses. This memorandum is written to serve as an agreement between, effective parties agree, here we go, second paragraph. Effective July 1st, 2025, the parties agree to provide 10 days of paid paternity leave for the 2025-2026 year. This is a pilot program, and the parties agree to work during the term of this MOU to further explore parental leave for future implementation. Eligibility for parental leave. Employees who have been actively employed for at least 2 years without a break in service will be eligible for paid parental leave upon the birth or adoption of a child. Paid parental leave, an eligible employee as defined above will receive 10 days of fully compensated paid parental leave time. These days will not be charged against the employee's sick or personal leave. Paid parental leave may be used on any regularly scheduled workday falling within the contracted school year for a period of 6 weeks following the birth or adoption of the child. Employees may combine paid parental leave with accrued sick leave and other approved leave types during their leave. Application for paid parental leave, an eligible employee as defined above will submit a long-term leave request form to their supervisor dated July 1st to June 30th. And I don't know that I have to sell this hard. I think we all know what it does and what we'd like to see it do. We're trying to just get it off the ground. It needs to happen because I don't want to be the last horse crossing the finish line when it comes in terms of leave. I want our employees to know that we care about them as soon as they, leave out to have a child. I just know that you have to be there for that baby at the beginning. You know, I don't have my own kids, but I know it pretty well. And this would be the thing that lets us do that. And I'd love for us to be right up there, starting this program when everybody else is starting it. Questions on this?
Yeah, I'm sure they would hear from Wayne and Kathy too, but so in the second paragraph,
Mm-hmm.
it references pilot program,
Yep.
parties work during the term of this MOU to further explore. So is the concept to implement or non-implement?
I want to implement, and then if we need to meet once or twice, several times, whatever, to adjust how things are done as we go through and discover problems or successes, we can meet and make changes. We're willing to come around and work with everybody to make this work. We're trying in what capacity we can to help you and not be like, make this happen.
And how did we land on the 2 years without a break in service? Where'd that number come from?
We went around and we looked at Orange and Leon counties and a couple other counties to figure out how much people were putting up in front. And that's a number we landed on by comparing it to other counties. Ideally, I should say that the idea would be to start this, come back, and every year add a couple of days to it so we can build on this until we get an appropriate amount of leave for a person to go out on a baby.
Do you have any questions on this?
What is the appropriate amount of leave?
Oh, I don't know yet, but we got to figure that out when we work it out.
And if both couple works in the school district, both would be eligible?
Both will be eligible because I can't figure out a way to try to, I don't know, cut out man or woman.
Kathy, any?
Nope.
Okay.
And let me check my little bucket. Oh, dual enrollment supplement. We ran into information about 15 minutes ago that makes our change to that more complicated than we thought, so we'll be bringing that later.
What was that again? Which one?
Dual enrollment supplement.
Okay. All right, so you give us an opportunity to
Yeah, if you'd like to
spend some
caucus,
time and
if you'd like to
talk about
caucus on it, by all means.
Are these in seats?
Yes, they should be under, what's the name of that bucket? I think it says SJEA proposals is the name of the.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I apologize for the delay. So on the paid parental leave, we are not opposed to this, but we do want to bring it back. We want to look at some HR numbers and clarify some language on that. So we are going to bring that back.
All right.
Optional planning day. I'd like to request, send me as a point of contact, please. Any information you have on this, emails that you're seeing that these are forced requests and all of those pieces, required meetings, any communication. Do want to follow up with our principals as well with regards to that. So please send that. This could be something we may look to bring back as well. Gaines and Hamlin and the St. John's Tech piece. These will be discussed with compensation conversations. We're going to have to talk to our board as well with regards to that before we move forward with any of that as well. Okay?
Got it.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's everybody. Yep. Okay. It says on here you want to discuss.
We just had a few items on there. Just wanted, and this will be clarification only. We know there'll be some scheduled meetings with the diff pay group with regards to that. Maybe more to come on that. The school bus operator and sign-on recruitment bonus. We're going to sit with till we hear from SJEA on that.
Okay.
Dr. Dresbeck will be working that group, and just looking at confirmation regarding our middle school digital tools on funding. There's some legislative pieces out there, so we're working our way through that. But those may be additional conversations in the future as well. And that's really it.
All right. In that case, I think all that's left is I promised you one article, correct?
You did.
Give me 1 second. Pull that here. Oh, that's right. Okay. That's for me. That's for me. I've got these side stacked because I don't have any staples in them.
Okay.
Sorry. Give me just a second. I'll let you can. I'm hoping, yeah, okay, it's in color. Thank goodness. Give me 1 second. I'll reconnect to the whole doohickey.
Is that okay?
Is it Windows K?
Should-
There we go.
should be.
You just got this new
I
computer.
learned that last week.
You really outdone yourself here.
I should say I retained it. That's the part that makes me feel smart.
Okay. And I have not dropped this into Teams, but I will do it just as soon as I get done here. Because that just occurred to me that I did not do that. Let me go. Okay. All right. I'm going to scroll down. So, okay, so leave, first page, no changes. Second page, we've just changed the order because we're putting some stuff on there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. All right, I'm going all the way down to A3. At Alpha 3, we have jury duty. The change here is that we're just asking that the wording state that the person who's on jury duty does not have to return until the next day after jury duty ends. And the reason for that is that it allows for travel time. Like, let's say you get done at noon, you got to drive back down to Pedro. By the time you get back down there, it's 2, and you got an hour and a half left of work. I think if you perform jury duty, you should come back the next day. So that, especially if you get pulled to do something further away than our courthouse, it allows for travel time to show up the next day without having to blow some leave because you got pulled for jury duty. Questions on 3? We want to go ahead and down to 5. This is a clarification for some employees and for some principals. In personal with pay leave, when you're taking personal leave, it's not required someone has to prearrange a substitute for leave approval. Leave can be approved and substitutes can be found through our system, hopefully our new and improved system for finding them. And we'd like to make sure it's right here in the contract so that several people will not have to go digging around calling their substitutes, trying to find somebody to get pre-approved on just to go on leave, especially on personal leave, which is already requested in advance anyway. And that's just a change on 5, questions on 5. Okay, flipping it over to 7, to bereavement leave. We piloted out that bereavement leave last year, and I've heard several people come to me and tell me what a success it was. I would like to add some days to it. So looking at 7, any professional employee, we're taking out who has utilized all the regular leave, that's going to be addressed earlier or further down, will be granted 5 days of fully compensated bereavement leave per contract year due to the death of a parent, spouse, child, household member, or parent who suffers a miscarriage. Any professional employee will be granted 3 days of fully compensated bereavement leave per contract year to a death of another close relative. So could be your cousin, could be somebody that doesn't live under the household with you, but is close to you. Let's see, we did some definitions, but we kind of redid the definition above a little bit to be household members or not. Dropping down 2 paragraphs, a maximum of 5 days of bereavement leave will be used per contract year regardless of number of qualifying events. This just basically says if 2 people die in the same year, you got a total of 5 days you can use on it. You can't have 5 grandmas die in a row and get 25 days. Bereavement leave days will not be charged against the employee's sick or personal leave. That's where we moved it down here to better fit. So the short and long of it is we'd like a couple extra days. And the reasoning is a twofold. Number one, if you have to travel, if you've got to go out of state, and we do recruit people from out of state to come work here. So if you recruit somebody from, let's go wild and say Spokane, Washington, they got to fly out, they've got to attend something, and they've got to come back. All right, and then they've got to come back to work. And 5 days, they may not take all 5 days. They may save some in case somebody else would have passed, but they have the option of 5 days. The other reason is a little outside my range. I try to deal mostly in numbers, but the other reason is that this is a profession where we work with kids. And if you're the stock clerk at Publix, and you're still broke up about somebody dying and you want to blubber a little bit while you put the can of beans on the shelf, the can of beans isn't going to judge you nor care, all right? But we work in a group with children, and our emotions as teachers greatly impact how they learn and live. Happy teacher is a better teacher. And if you need some time to grieve, that's why we put 5 days for those close members, those parents, spouses, household members. You need some time to get that off your chest so that you can make it all the way through the workday sometimes. And that's going to help cover us in that if you need those days. And if it's somebody further away from you, you've got 3 days you can use on that. And those are the changes to 7 questions on 7 bereavement leave going into the contract. All right, I'm going to go from wellness leave to illness, injury in the line of duty. This is an addition that lines up with the state statute 1012.63 that if an employee sustains an injury, they shall be entitled to fully compensated illness in line of duty leave not to exceed 10 school days during any one school year due to a personal injury received in the charge of duty or because of illness from any contagious or infection disease contracted in schoolwork. The statute shall supersede Florida State Statute 440.11 during that 10-day period. These days will not be charged against the employee's sick or personal leave. The employee must have a note from the healthcare provider to cover the period of time missed. If an employee must attend follow-up appointments, he or she may use illness in line of duty leave for such time not to exceed 10 days noted above. After the 10 days of illness line of duty leave have been exhausted, Florida State Statute 440.11 shall apply. This is because people get hurt in the line of duty, and I want them to know that they can take time off for that and not be charged against their leave. The first example I can think of off the top of my head is to have somebody get hurt, especially working with the EBD unit or the IND unit, where they tend to suffer a lot of short-term bang-ups and bruises in that work. and that would give them time to convalesce.
Do we
Do we?
currently have illness, injury in the line of duty language in the contract?
I believe this language is new to the contract, which is why it's the whole section, unless somebody wants to correct me on that. I believe this is all new language on this. I could be wrong.
It's okay.
We
That's
can look
fine.
back.
I'm
We're
so
gonna talk- we're
bad.
gonna
I'm
talk
gonna
about-
bring it with
we're gonna
me
talk
the
about
next
this
time.
in the-
Okay. Thanks.
If you want to borrow it.
Yeah, I just, I have a hard time believing something was
Yeah,
in there,
If you
but
want to
that's
come,
okay.
you
Keep
want to come back
going.
at the end, I'll keep driving on?
Yes, keep going.
Okay. 10, professional development leave. I'm gonna check one thing. Okay, all right.
What page, Parker?
Well, there's like a one line about line of duty
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
on page.
I'll find it. Thank you.
And if you got it somewhere, Jeff, please, we'll get it all together.
Mhm.
All right, professional development leave. Professional employees shall be granted compensated days of duty of duty days of professional development leave /TDE with pay for the purpose of visiting other schools or attending local, state, or national meetings or conferences of an educational nature. The professional employee seeking professional development must seek prior approval from their principal or direct supervisor 10 working days in advance of the leave request. This is to grant some flexibility for our people that have to do a lot of conferencing work, who have to do a lot of study work, who have to go out and do, I'm trying to think of a word, things like conferences in our conferences. Seminars, there we go. You gotta do a seminar. So if you have the ASL teacher and they said, I got a 2-day seminar, and if they're gonna come out of pocket for the seminar, if you'll give them the 2 days off, then it should be a deal you can make with your principal to do so. This can also be used, I think, for visiting other schools is very important for people, and I'll use myself as an example. I'm the only physics teacher at my school. If I need to go to another school to visit, it should be, we're putting in the contract language that you can talk to your principal and say, hey, I've already reached out and negotiated with the guy at St. Augustine High. I want to go spend a day with him learning how to do the job. This is something that was done for me at a young age. It worked out very well for me, and I'd like to see that in the contract for other people to take advantage of. So this is for your singletons and for people that have to attend conferences, people like SLPs and such. Questions on this? Okay. Checking the rest of the paper. I don't see anything else in leave unless anybody on the side. Oh, here we go.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this certainly be something we're gonna have to talk about.
I figured it's gonna take you more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So our thoughts are, we're through our agenda. You've passed your article. Discuss next meeting dates, if everybody's okay. I want to throw out August 27th, 5 PM at Fullerwood. Any takers?
Is it 5 o'clock?
5 PM?
Can we do 5:30? I get out later now.
Yep.
Anybody against the 27th?
Of August.
August.
Yes, ma'am.
Jack.
I think I'm good.
It's 5:30 too fast for you?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Fullerwood, yes.
Yeah, if we can get it.
That would help.
My home away from home. All right, let's do that.
We good?
Yes, sir.
Kathy, Jay, everybody
I'm
good?
perfect,
Wayne?
yep.
Okay. All right.
I think that's it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming to the table.
And we
Kathy,
said
did you sign
5:30.
it?
5:30.
Yeah. I just see in the non-paid is kind of that one-liner for workers' compensation.
What was Parker?
I think she was referring to that same page.
No, I did.
There's just a,
Jess, was this the way it was set up?
in
What's that?
non-paid,
Is this
it's,
the way it was set
the
up?
district will
No, we gotta put
follow,
it back
what
in
is
the
it,
single-
laws or
It was single
statutes
herringbone with full
applying
charity.
to
Let us
workers'
know, we'll help you do it.
compensation.
Gonna take another long. I appreciate everyone, I want to say.
Yeah, thank you.
On both sides coming out with it. Yep, you can cut it out. And then give them a little type message